It is imperative to know that Eddie Smith was the founder of the Black Stuntmen's Association.
Eddie again said, man, you know, they painting down white people in this business, still painting down white people.
They was painting down white guys, the double, Sidney Poitier and all of those guys.
At the time, we were riding horses on Thursday and Sunday. We had no intention of being stuntmen at that time. We were just bringing forth some history about the Buffalo Soldiers. We said, well, we got to, if we're gonna go out here, we got to learn some of the things about stunt work.
The white stunt group would not let us in. So we had to train ourselves, and what we did, we went out to Athens Park, rain or shine.
There were no black stunt guys. Well, no, there weren't no white stunt guys. Before you learned, we learned.
There was a hole in the roof, and there was like a, a pad down below, so you'd start to learn how to, do stunt falls.
We began to learn how to do fights.
Jump across bleachers.
Horse falls, for jumping off of roofs on the horses.
Some of the guys, he went rented cars from Hertz.
I bought them so many cars back messed up. They put me on a blacklist, so I couldn't run a car from Hertz anymore.
They put a stop to that.
We showed we had the expertise.
If we was doing stunts, we had to be 150% better than the white guys.
I was a red Russian tank commander, and David, as always, was on the receiver's aid.
I'm the one to play the tank driver.
He was inside the box that usually serves for our pillows.
And he will be the hero of Soviet Union who will command this tank.
And I was screaming, hey, hey, ahead, Reds, behind me.
He called me, Boris, let's go, let's hit the fucking Germans.
Stalin, and he was crying inside, and I thought that, hey, you have to wait. One more minute.
So I realized that I have no enough air. I don't have air at all. And in 5 minutes, I realized that I'm dying. And I was screaming and yelling, but nobody hear me.
There was no air inside. I didn't realize it.
The neighbor from the apartment downstairs heard those voices. And she came and she rescued me.
Oof. He broke the door, and I still remember that. I'll never forget it.
We had a lot of fun later on.
When I started street performing, my parents thought that I was a bum on the streets begging for money and doing a few tricks. They didn't know what I did. And when I explained it to them, they were amazed. They couldn't believe I could do it.
I started when I had no job, and I had just graduated with a BFA in acting, and I'd always wanted to perform, but I never ever thought that I would be a busker.
This was January 1979. The rest of the family arrived. They slept in my two-bedroom apartment. And it was a shock, and I felt obligated too, because I provoked him in this entire situation, so I needed to find him a job, and I did.
Michael brought me to the construction site outside of San Francisco to San Mateo County, where a number of Mexicans told me that's how you carry a sheetrock.
And David had that drive, and I think that knowledge that at the end, it will all turn out just fine. Also, the important thing was to know that whatever it takes, it's okay.
Put your tongue between those two teeth, upper and a lower one, and say thank you. That's how I learned to speak English, with the help of my Mexican friends.
And he was working from morning till night, coming home sometimes at midnight. I just remember how tired he always was in those days.
A couple years later, the same people who were showing him the ropes were working for him.
Papa always worked extremely hard, but you know, David, when it's time to party, he parties.
And already there was a bottle of vodka.
David is the life of the party.
Very often, every other weekend, we'll get all together and celebrate life and how well we got here.
When David and the whole family came to America, it was, I think, the happiest day for my parents and for me and for Daniel.
David was always a heart of it, and my father will sing, and mother will tell us the story of the past.
I know that my dad just kind of blossomed when his brother came. He just was very, very happy.